Hello everybody, I'm Adam and today we're going to be talking to Alfed, our manager here at Vagsburg Center Garden Route, about thermostats, what they are, what purpose they serve, what different types of thermostats and how they get replaced, specifically when an Amarok. So Alfed, what is a thermostat?
So the main purpose of the thermostat is to make sure that your engine stays on working temperature. So when the engine is cold, obviously your thermostat stays closed, and that makes sure that the water that's inside the cylinder head and the engine block heats up quicker. And once it gets to temperature, the thermostat opens and then the water circulates through the radiator where your fan, all the air from the outside cools it down. And its main purpose is to make sure it stays on 90.
So what are the benefits of an engine running at operating temperature as opposed to staying cooler than that?
Well, obviously, if the engine is on working temperature, your combustion temperatures is where it's supposed to be. Your engine is on optimal working temperature, and that's what it's saying. It's optimal temperature. So it makes sure that your combustion is right. It doesn't overfuel. Your exhaust sensors work like they're supposed to. Well, there's a lot of things that actually works in hand with each other to make sure that your combustion is 100%. But yeah, main purpose is to make sure that everything works in harmony.
So then it is a problem if your vehicle stays below operating temperature.
Yeah, well look, most thermostats on the Amaroks, if they fail, luckily they stay in the open position, then you'll see that your temperature stays on around about 70 to 75 degrees. What that means now is you've got an engine that's supposed to be on working temperature, and your injectors is going to give a little bit more fuel, so it's going to overfuel in a certain way, because the coolant temperature sensor gets a reading from the coolant, which is not supposed to be 75, it's supposed to be 90. And that will definitely cause a little bit of overheating, and it's bad for the cylinders when the engine is on working temperature and it's running rich.
So then you've said now what happens when the thermostat is stuck in an open position. What happens when it's stuck in the closed position?
So once your thermostat is stuck in the closed position, it means that there's no water circulating through the engine and the radiators. So nothing is going to cool down the water or your antifreeze or your coolant system. And that will lead to vehicles overheating, can lead to cylinder heads that's going to crack. So yeah, rather open position than a closed position, my personal opinion.
And what exactly does it entail to replace a thermostat on an Amarok?
Oh goodness, that's a lot of work. First of all, there will be live wires because you have to remove the alternator, and the throttle body on it needs to be removed. There's loose pipes that needs to come off. So there's quite a bit of work that goes into it. And obviously, I mean, where there's live wires, a short circuit is always in the equation.
So disconnecting the battery then will be an important part of the process.
Well, that's the first part of the process when you start off replacing a thermostat.
Awesome.
Okay, so like I said in the video, the major thing is where you start off, you need to disconnect the battery, and it's always the safer way to start with it. You always disconnect the negative terminal in the battery first, and then if you have to, you do the positive. And when you get to the installing of it, it's in the opposite way. Positive first, and then the negative last. And then obviously, where we have to work, there's live wires. That's the one for the alternator. So that's why you have to disconnect the battery, because it's a direct cable right from the battery, and this would cause a major short if it needs to touch somewhere on the earth. And alternator needs to come out, and then your fan belt or your V-belt or serpentine belt, like they call it, that also needs to be removed. You've got coolant hoses that needs to be removed. Your boost pipes needs to come off. Your throttle body is also one of the components that you need to remove. And then right at the back here, behind everything, that's where the thermostat sits. So that's why it's normally recommended to take it to someone that knows these vehicles, that knows the order that it needs to be done in, to make sure that everything runs smoothly and you do not end up with more damage to a vehicle that's needed.
So as you said in the video, it's quite a lot of work to replace that thermostat.
Yes, it is. So
then, now that we've had a look at what all that entails, what different types of thermostats can you get for your vehicles?
Look, at the end of the day, there's a lot of different types of thermostats. But if you break it down, it's actually just two. So you get a mechanical one, and then you get the electrical ones.
Now, what are the advantages per se over a mechanical or electrical thermostat? Which one would serve a better purpose?
Look, that's why the older types has fallen away. Everything is more working with electronics. So, I mean, if you have a look at the electrical thermostat, it regulates the water flow a lot better because it's not just a valve that opens and closes. It actually can work on 20%, 50%, and where in cases it's hot, it actually opens it completely. So, electrical ones is more the better way to go at the end of the day. It's just, if it gets to electrical components, obviously the more electrical things there is, the more there's ways that things can go wrong.
Interesting. Thank you very much for watching. As always, this has been Vag Spec Center.